Welcome to my writing realm. My name is Tanya, and I'm a Canadian author and creator of Sable Book Night, an independent publishing company. If you'd like to learn more about me and Sable's publications, visit sablebooknight.ca, and Book Night shares the K. Episode 52, Merging Story Ideas and Writing Contests. Hello everyone, today is May 22nd and it's a comfortable 17 degrees Celsius in Selkirk, Manitoba. The sun is shining, birds are building their nests, and neighbors are working on cutting their lawns for the first time this year, which we have yet to do. We've had a vast difference in weather lately, including 2 hot days of nearly 40 degrees Celsius, followed by frost and fog not long after. Of course, that makes gardeners' plans change from day to day, including my own. Well, today is right in the middle, which makes me very happy. Heat makes my blood pressure drop and impacts my ability to function. And cold is, well, it's cold. Over the last couple of weeks, I've started to write 2 different projects just to get back into the habit of writing something. One is a crime thriller, and the other I'd intended to be a portal fantasy story. However, putting thought into the first story, the crime thriller, I realized there was a vital piece missing that I just couldn't work out. The character I created in the second story could fill that gap and plot hole, making it a more complex story. Neither story is far enough along for it to negatively impact things in making this change. So all I gotta do is take the scene I wrote for the second story, revise it to make sense with the first, and then plop it into place. This isn't the first time I've merged 2 story ideas into one. When I'm lucky enough to be functioning normally, I'm usually a writer that has an overflow of ideas, and sometimes it makes things very scattered, including in my files. I also enjoy working on more than one project at a time so that I can continue writing when I feel like it's time for a break from a specific project. Now, there are scenarios where forcing 2 stories together will not make sense at all. But being open to the possibility of doing so, when it does make sense, can open a whole new realm of creating depth in your story. So tell me, have you ever done this? And how did it work for you? Writing contests are a great way to showcase our skills, practice the submission process, and maybe even gain some recognition along the way. So I went on a search for websites that list multiple writing contests, and this is what I found. And all of the links will be posted in the episode description. The first website is fireflycreativewriting.com, which is a wonderful resource for Canadian writers, and the list of contests is massive. Another great resource, which I bet many of you have checked out in the past or have at least heard of, is readsy.com. Their writing contest offers resources in multiple countries. By the way, you can also check out sablebooknight.ca for the open submission call, which is free to submit to. I will be updating this page prior to this episode being released, so please stop by. And I also came across the following lists of contests. papertrue.com. On LinkedIn, Erica Virillo has provided a contest list as well. intercompetition.com. curiosityneverkilledthewriter.com. And I love that name. karenosman.com. There are so many great online resources for writing contests that are worth checking out. Maybe one day I'll post something on my website and merge some of these lists together to give you one central location. But I'll let you know if that day ever comes. In personal updates, we have some family flying in this weekend from Ontario, so we'll be busy for the next week or so spending quality time together. In health, my neurologist has added an additional medication to my list, as my blood pressure is still dropping when I stand up, even though I'm already medicated for it. In the coming summer months, things may be challenging for me with the heat, but I'll keep moving forward and trying to stay positive. In June, I start taking vitamin B12 injections in hopes to increase my energy levels. My next neurologist in-person appointment isn't until October, when we will most likely look at adjusting my diet. I have celiac disease, so my diet is already tightly managed. However, we're considering cutting back on things like carbs and refined sugars to see if it helps me feel any better. Adjusting to being at home all the time and not at work has been a long process, and I think it's probably been about 6 months. But I think I'm finally there. I've tried goal setting so that my days have a bit of structure to them, but it's not easy to follow it. One goal was to walk every morning, but I find that some days there's enough housework to accomplish inside that I don't have enough energy to do both housework and a walk. Another was to do something writing related every afternoon, but it seems that I only make one day a week to focus on it. So this area I really need to improve on. With so much going on with family, it's difficult to make the time to write. My brain is often overloaded, leaving next to nothing left for me to focus on my craft. Sometimes I sit with the blank screen in front of me, trying to encourage myself to write anything. And after a few minutes of just staring off into space, I shut everything down again. It is frustrating, and I'm being hard on myself. But I try to remind myself that family and health comes first. Writing will still be there when I'm ready. This attitude will not get me very far with my publishing career, but it will help me maintain some aspect of sanity. So how is your writing life going, and what's new in your world? Drop a comment, because I would love to hear from you. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever, and keep on writing.